What, you didn't get all
Kai.
that?
No.
Kai, do you want to...
People don't want to hear us bullshitting.
Kai, do you want to migrate the image to the browser?
Would I? What? You mean?
Migrate the video from Discord to the browser.
Oh, yeah, we could move. Yeah, move the video from Discord to browser. Yes, probably a good idea. Yeah, so I'm gonna unvideo myself now.
Michael, I'm gonna take a picture of the box of my flexible boom scissors.
Flexible boom scissors. And because what I'm concerned about is I don't want to buy anything that doesn't actually attach to the snowball. You know what I mean? And your boom, does that like clamp onto the table or something?
Yes, I can show you. Right here. No, a bit higher. Yep. Right here.
Perfect. Yeah, and then that attaches to your shock mount.
I didn't buy the shock mount.
Oh, you haven't got the shock mount. So how does that? Because at the moment my snowball is just attached to the tripod it came with.
Yeah, mine.
You just you just unscrew the tripod and screw it onto that.
Yeah, I talked with the vendor that sold me this thing, and he said the screw is standard.
The what?
Standard.
The screw.
Oh, is it?
It's a standard, so you can buy anything. It's gonna be okay. You might come by with someone that has a small one that they have to buy the piece that get larger to the standard size, or if you get a mic later that it has a smaller screwer, then you have to change by adapter to the large to small one. But the one of the snowball is a standard size.
Cool.
I was afraid of that too. That's why I went to the store physically to ask this.
Yeah. Cool. I like the snowball. It's good so far, I think.
Yeah, it's been good. I have been using banana meter, and has been way better to definition with sound.
What is that like Audacity?
No. That's to added sound. This one is like a mix table, so I can transmit, so I can equalize and a bit of echo or.
And what's it called? Banana.
It's voice meter banana.
Voice meter banana. No, sir.
You see, I shared a link in the Discord. That's the Armin microphone I had purchased. It was cheap, and it's. How do I sound?
Yeah, good. Well, when I say good, I mean I'm talking about sound quality.
Yeah. The thing about it is, if you don't like it, if you're just gonna purchase a cheap little mic and just plug it directly into your PC, your quality will be okay. But if you get an amplifier, your quality becomes much better. You know. So I have a little amp connected to my microphone as well. So it's not drawing power from the PC; it's drawing it from the amplifier.
Need to get me some of that.
Yeah, it's an amplifier for a mic. It's fairly cheap. There's one right now with this thing. I think this is the one I bought. So
it's all of that.
$20.
$34 for
the microphone, the arm, everything that came in that link mic is.
Whoa.
Yeah, we had this discussion before. You know, the tower structure. Yeah, it ain't gonna be $30 here. But anyway, you know, it's always nice to know what it should cost.
That's amazing.
But anyway,
when are you coming to Brazil, Anthony?
I don't know. I got a friend of mine's wedding. I gotta go to this summer. I don't know, soon.
Bring a net.
Yeah,
If you guys ever
Bring a
want
big
to,
suitcase.
if I ever come to Brazil, I'll let you guys know, and you can order shit, and I'll bring everything.
Yeah. My God.
We'll chip in for the extra charge and the 6 suitcases that you'll be bringing over.
Yeah.
That's the thing because
Who
in
wants a
Britain,
It'll
PlayStation
still be
5?
cheaper.
If I brought like 10 PlayStation 5s.
Yeah.
Might be a little
it might
difficult.
work.
You might want to do 3.
Yeah. But the interesting thing, we Brazilians we carry so much shit in our bags that we in the United Kingdom we are the only ones that can exceed the maximum weight. The only nationality can exceed this.
I think that might have just changed.
They changed the stuff, and I know this when we travel. It used to be, bro.
I think they just changed it.
And I used to do this, man. Anthony, man. The weight limit on suitcases in Brazil was like 72 pounds. It was 35 kilos. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I think now it's like 45 or 40.
It's back. Yeah, it's back to normal. It's back to normal. But bro, the first couple years, man, every time I came back to the States, the first time I came here back from the States, man, I bought stuff for school. I actually convinced, I bought like thousands of dollars worth of basically like science classroom electronic equipment, along with like stereo stuff, bro. They stopped me at the airport. The fucking customs people stopped me. I got worried. And I wasn't worried. I mean, I bullshitted through it, but I was like, man, if they tax me on this shit, it's going to be through the roof. But I was able to sweet talk my way out of the situation. I rolled real well on my persuasion check and my deception check, right? Because I had.
It's nice when it works out like that, right?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. Boothby would be in prison by now.
For certain.
He was.
He was.
Luckily, it was my first year, and so I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm moving here." And it was like the stereo receiver. There's no dust in it. Why is that? I'm like, "Well, I keep my equipment clean. What's wrong with that?" Right? Because obviously I took everything out of the packaging. And I wrapped it all up. You always have to take it out of the
packaging. Did you really check it?
When you're smuggling all these goods over.
Yeah, you got to take it out of the packet.
Yeah, and so of course, that's always.
If let's say I hypothetically like ripped the plastic off and shit, but kept it in the box, does it still count as?
You could say you keep it in the box to travel with it.
Yeah.
But if the box doesn't look tatty, you
got to bubble wrap everything and just be like, I'm have an extended stay here. I'm sorry, I'm going to be here for. Bringing some of my things.
I need these 10 PlayStations for the 10 rooms in my mansion. Leave me alone.
You filthy peasants.
Yeah, so the 10 PlayStations. So you'd have to like differentiate. Like, you'd have to have like 2 PlayStations and like 1 projector and a stereo receiver and everything else. So, you'd have to like make it look a little bit believable.
You guys have normal power over there, or is it like fucking England?
No, the abnormal power. No, it's 110 or 220.
Wait.
110 volts.
It's 110 volts because Sao Paulo State. But if you go other places in Brazil, it's 220. We're not going to get into this crazy history. It's not consistent, right?
But if you want a crazy history, I had a wonderful history about energy.
If I'm bringing you guys, electronic equipment, is it gonna work?
I've got
It is.
Yeah, definitely.
It is.
Brazilians buy US stuff all the time. That's why Brazilians, the dream vacations. Brazilians go to fucking Miami. Yeah. They go to Disney World, and then they go to Best Buy. That's like the.
We buy a lot of clothes. We buy lots and lots of clothes. It's really cheap clothes in the United States. Have a good quality and like have less than half. So like 2 bags just for new clothes.
Yeah.
I never went to the United States. My brother and my mom went, and clothes.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, but yeah. But I mean, that's the same everywhere, because the United States has the cheapest electronics of any place in the world outside of Japan. Europe, it's also more expensive, right? It just it's the non-tariff structure there, the way they, it's a shopper's paradise in some ways. So that's
Yeah, I think in the UK you tend to pay in pounds what you would pay in dollars in the
Yeah.
US. So
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
don't benefit from the exchange rate at all.
Yeah. It's something particular about U.S. I mean, so the U.S. economy in terms of consumer economic goods, consumer goods is the least expensive in the world. The only other place that's cheaper is Tokyo for electronics. I was researching this recently. Anyway, talking about electronics, and remember we said that you could mine cheap Chinese knockoff electronics in Paraguay. That's kind of like Numenera. So if you just dig to the ground, you'll bring up, 1 billion years worth of cheap Chinese electronics. But that's the ciphers, right? That's what you're finding everywhere. So the ninth world is actually a giant Paraguay, where everyone is selling cheap knockoff Chinese electronics, and found recycled garbage. That is in a way a metaphor for the ninth world. So, speaking of that, can you guys remind me of where we are and what we're doing?
Okay.
In our adventure.
As far as I remember, Zygor had a long and important talk with the citizens, the denizens of this place, and one of the three patriarchs. Zygor?
Yeah, what's up?
How many guys were when you talk like the patriarchies or the mentors? Three? No, but he.
I meant the three elders.
Oh, you met the three. Okay.
Yeah.
I know that it was three. I didn't know how many you met. And me and Chari, we went to Stone Mine and build houses. While Zargo was making his good deal. Then we came back, and we decided we want to explore the cave, so we can show more of our prowess, physical prowess, intellectual prowess, and help, so we can escalate kind of the ranks and get close to the great token to use that for whatever they decide or not to go back to home. So we went to the cave and we killed a lot of that giant cockroaches.
No, they're cockroaches. These
weird.
Yeah, they're like spider beetle things that ride streams of ice. It's really utterly freakish, unique. None of you had ever seen before. Indeed, and I believe that we're able to defeat all these strange ice weavers, as they are called by the locals of this strange and isolated village high in some unknown mountains where you have.
So someone's going to ravage some Numenera?
I think we harvested the Numenera already, and gave me the two.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I also increased one of my esoteries.
That's correct, because you guys had some experience points that you could use for leveling up.
Did you get it again?
In increasing your well, I mean, it depends how many experience points you have.
I think Anthony did.
Yeah.
Anthony decided to spend his experience points to purchase one of the necessary 4 purchases to increase his tier.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. And so I believe that we can say that happened at the night. At some point, you're gonna have to get back to the village because it's freezing out here. Luckily, you guys are in some heavy black tusk fur coats. It was given to you by the villagers. And
were we going to drag one of the things to the village, or
you could, right?
or,
Yeah,
or cut a bit of it off or something?
Yeah, I mean, clearly, the villagers were scared of this. They talked about it. The guards talked about it fearfully. They were terrified of what they'd seen. The one guard, that was already mentioned at some point, by various individuals, about this nest of these ice weavers. You've already been clearly given more respect since your killing of the Black Tusks, and from your gathering of the stone, simple as it may be, it definitely created a very positive reaction amongst the villagers, and actually amongst the elders, right? When when the elders first spoke to you, they seemed to have a lot of respect, and then Zygor went to visit him, I believe. They already were aware of the different actions that you've taken to help the village, and that seemed to give them a positive attitude about your presence.
And then I made a little deception on
Yes,
the
you did.
commoners and the elders.
Yes,
Being
because
to the icon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you were able to connect to the door opening panel of the residence of the elders, and you amazed the women who were delivering food to the 3 chosen ones, who just basically seemed to be semi-permanent, seasonal assistants to the elders. And that also put them in a good light, demonstrating your potency. I think they've said several times they've lauded you for your abilities, right? And they've said that historically there's only been 3 sets of individuals who have been outsiders, and none of you are the most powerful. I believe that's something that's make it, whether they're being honest or not. You've heard it. You've definitely impressed everyone with your abilities. There's no doubt, including the great elders.
Okay. And then we fought those ice creatures, and we harvested their glands. I got 3 glands.
Yes. Yeah, you know what? I forgot. I didn't research this. I have to figure out, because it's biological, so it's not new. It's not numenera. So I think it would have to be intelligence checks to turn it into something like what you wanted, which is kind of a small scale freezing bomb.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So creepy, weird biotech. So I don't know if we've rolled intelligence checks for that.
I'm gonna roll an intelligence check.
Yeah, I think.
What
Or to say, we have roll intelligence for D&D. You have to make a intellect, test for the task of, which you already did, right? Zygor, you had a spec. Wasn't that it? Zygor rolled it, and you were successful in removing it, right, without damaging it and keeping it. And then there was the idea that turning it into something, I think, might take a little bit of time. We didn't get into those rules. There's a whole set of rules about salvaging Numenera for parts and rebuilding. So not only can you find Numenera, you can essentially learn how to get parts and materials. The salvaging Numenera skill is actually for that. It's not just for finding them. It's really for taking bits and pieces out of out of the junkyard and keeping them in your pocket, as a sort of junkyard wars toolbox of stuff that you can build later. So there's a whole crafting system in Numenera that we haven't gotten into, but that's part of this. Yeah.
Okay.
But for now, let's say that you're tinkering with it and you've got it, and you're worried though that if you take it into the valley, you know, it's going to spoil, right? I mean, it is some kind of biological entity, whether it's bioengineered.
Do I think that maybe it'll last longer than like if I were to take a steak with me because of the nature of how cold it is? It might preserve it a little longer than
Longer, but you don't know how long it'll last.
Okay, so if I build a village, I gotta immediately start working on it.
Yeah, because I mean, you don't know how long it'll last just inside the much warmer area, right? I mean, not only is the gland super cold, right, but it might have some kind of freezing, weird hormone liquid in it that's clearly not quite natural. It'll probably stay cold for a long time, but again, you're going from a Arctic region, and as soon as you cross the pylons, it's
all right. Can I like hide them on like another side of like a pylon on the cold side?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You could do that.
I'll go back and take it with them later.
Yeah. It might last for a certain amount of time, but you don't think it'll last indefinitely.
Yeah.
It just makes sense because it's still a semi-biological piece of material.
Pfizer, basically.
Do any of you have any type of skill to help assist me with this, creating these little devices?
No, actually, I have deficiencies in doing this kind of things.
There's one character type called the Right, and they are the Numenera character. They're the artificer. They have crafting Numenera.
Okay.
That's right. So that's a particular character class that has that. I think any of you would. You know how to pick the garbage. You know how to figure out, identify the magic item, but very few have the crafting Numenera. I mean, in this case, it's okay because it's still an intellect skill test. Just crafting Numenera, of course, just means that you're better at it. It doesn't stop you from trying to figure it out anyway by yourself. You need the skill.
You're allowed to pick a special skill, aren't you? My salvaging Numenera is an inability, but I made it my special ability, so I was trained. Could one of us do that with crafting Numenera?
No. Only you, Chandra, can do that. I believe that is very particular to your character.
Well, could I turn off my salvaging Numenera and choose crafting Numenera for this session?
Yeah, but isn't it like every 24 hours? Isn't it I think there's like a description.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's a description in your character sheet about how you can do that. And so you have crafting Numenera. You see that? You have it. See, so you have salvaging Numenera, and I didn't know that, you have crafting Numenera. So that would be the enhanced skill that would allow you to help, even though this is not a Numenera, the creature's not. We'll count it as a Numenera. So you could help Anthony with that, right? And so it could be a situation where you could, at some point, use your, choose crafting Numenera as the enhanced skill, and Anthony could give you, Zygor could aid you, and that would be an asset, which would reduce the difficulty by 1, right? So that's the way you would work it. It would be like giving help in D&D. And so, if you decide tomorrow that that's going to be what you're going to focus on.
So I would make. So I would go back to inability on salvaging.
Yeah.
And trained on crafting.
So is this your stalker thing?
I'm trying to find where it.
You gain an ass? No, that's not it. Yeah. Wait, where is this? Where did you see this ability that you have? You have this face thing. You can alter the face. So you basically have disguise.
Yeah, I just remembered that now. I just had a look. Face morph. That would be.
You can use deadly poison. The fuck?
I can create deadly poison. Yeah.
Look at this cool shit you can do.
Stalker. Yeah.
Oh, that's a cipher. That's your cipher. Yeah. Okay.
I think it must have been. Let me open the. I've got to find the PDF.
Yeah, when you find a PDF, it doesn't matter. Let's say that you can do it tomorrow. You're like, you will get it done within the adventure, right? So I'm going to give you that. So, but you just make sure you look up for your camera.
Yeah.
Anyway, so in the immediacy of being in a cave and collecting these weird, cold producing glands, so you're there in a cave. You found some ciphers. You distributed the ciphers, right? They were frozen in some bodies, clearly of outsiders who must have died in this cave at some point, somehow. Who knows how long? Frozen deep in the ice, which in the back of the cave, which might or may not have been there before these ice creatures came. So you're not sure. The bodies were desiccated and covered in ice. It must have been there for a long time. So then,
Kai, were they identifiable? Like, were they mummified because of the ice?
Yes, I'm going to say they were literally kind of more mummified under the ice. So they were there for a long time.
Okay.
And they don't look like villagers, right? Because it had ciphers. So it might have been from the party that the villagers did say there were two sets of people who have come before you, but like historically, like in their grandfather's time, great time, talking within the range of 100 years. So again, this is a crazy isolated village, right, full of backwards inbred people like Hull, and so maybe it was one of them. You can jump to that conclusion because it did say that they gave a set of strangers equipment, and that they supposedly went down the mountain. So who knows how long these people have been here. The clothing that they have does not look like they came from the Steadfast, at least not within the era that Maybe they came from the Steadfast 50 years ago. You're not sure. Whoever these people were that had that were mummified in the ice with the sign. So a mystery.
Well, but they were wearing cold gear.
They were wearing
different type. Different style.
Would say that. Yeah, they were wearing cold gear. They looked like they were wearing black tusk fur stuff. So maybe they'd come to the village at some point in history. And you can investigate their bodies if you want. It's hard to tell. They're mummified. They're old. It's hard to tell what killed them immediately.
Okay.
Are you guys gonna bring So you guys gonna bring back any evidence of what you did, or are you just gonna maybe bring come back the next day?
If we could carve out a corpse and bring it to like the elders, because they've been around forever, maybe they'll recognize it.
Oh. Yeah. You could carve out a corpse. If you want to chip away. You had to chip away to get to the cipher. With your equipment, which would basically be trying to smash it with the sword and rocks. You could try to pick up some rocks and start smashing the bodies. That's something you could do. It would take you a while, but you could get it done. It's not. It'll just take some time for you to do this.
Yeah, I'm training.
Maybe a claw or two of the ice spiders too.
Okay.
I'm training in breaking inanimate objects, so I can help in that one.
It's fine. It's not going to make it. It's not uncomfortable. You just take the time with your warhammer or whatever to smash it. And it's ice. It's pretty hard, but you're not breaking rock, and so you might have to sharpen your equipment again later on somehow. But you'll be able to get this body out. And then, yeah, I mean, you can cut a head off of one of these things. I mean, they're pretty big; they're 4 meters long, right? But the heads, maybe you want to chop a head off of one of these creatures and bring it back, as a trophy or an evidence of the destruction.
Yeah, that's
whatever you want. Yeah, that makes sense because it's clear. It's the creatures look quite unique. It's not going to be confused for anything else. These ice creatures, they have a hard carapace, so it's going to take you some chopping to break through this icy, funky carapace. Because part of it is covered in ice. Right?
Could we make armor out of the carapace?
I suppose you could. I guess that would be like a crafting numerical. It might take a while. I don't know the rules for that, but I suppose you could try and make some armor out of it. Might not be comfortable.
Maybe a couple big cups for Broomhilda.
Yeah, maybe you could try and figure out. I mean, you couldn't fashion it; you'd have to cut it up, and it would.
Yeah, or if you want, I can just put one of their bodies on my shoulder, bring it to the village. Maybe it's edgeable, and for them that's the more important thing. If edgeability. We can, and then we have all the time in the world. You scan these creatures, and I can take off the carcass. I mean, the shell of the carcass without any problem. And maybe we can even unlock some knowledge from the people around, like we got from about the previous adventures. Then I can take one of the bodies and one carcass of a creature.
Let's cut off the area where I took the gland, because they start asking, what was taken out of this creature, blah blah blah, I kind of want to keep us having these ice bombs close to the vest.
Okay.
I found it. It's a flex skill, Kai. At the beginning of each day, choose one task, other than attacks or defenses, on which you will concentrate. For the rest of that day, you're trained in that task. You can use this ability with a skill you're already trained in.
Okay. Why don't you copy that? And if you did that, then you would be specialized in it. So why don't you copy that in actually in your special abilities? Yeah, add that to your special abilities so we remember that. And then the next day you'll just be able to use your focus on crafting Numenera. That's all. No biggie. Like I said, 24 hours. I sort of remembered it was every other day. So it was every day. So actually, in the Numenera, it'd be 28 hours. But it's successful. Okay, yeah. You guys can drag it back. So that's what you're gonna do. Yeah, Hilda, you can. It's big, but you're super strong, so you can drag it if you want. Pick it up, and you'll walk back. You're not gonna be attacked by anything at this point, and you can make your way back through the space in the pylons.
Okay, we'll take one of the human bodies along with us, right?
Yeah. You can drag that too. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
And when you get back, of course, they're the 2 guards who are at the front of the village, protecting the village entry archway. They're essentially half asleep.
Kai, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt, but remember when I scanned the elders?
Yeah.
What nature of creature were they? Right, were they humanoid, biological, mechanical, both?
Yeah. So you remember, it's kind of like, it's weird because the scans actually only tells you some sort of limited information, but it's they were they were sort of melded into the chair. The chair had somehow got tubings and stuff that was in their body. This device that they were in, whatever it was, right? Whether it was supposed to be a chair or not, had melded into their body. So they were one with their floating device at this point. And this is one of those things, like, it's a Numenera. Who knows what this was originally for? I mean, there's nothing that says that this was a chair at all. It's just that they're in it now, and their life processes are being, like I said, somehow filtered through this device, right? So they don't have to eat much, they don't poop. I think that was a sense that I gave you. The sense was that they were now, human machine, right? I mean, they had modified, they morphed. You can't really tell. I mean, they sound like they were human. They look like they were human. They're treated like they were human. They said that they were, the children of the founders. If anybody asks you, it says that, they are the children of the founders. So the people, if you would ask, the people would say that, of course, they're us. They're just become wiser over the centuries. Because
and they were level 3?
Let me look real quick. Yeah, I think they were either level 3 or 4. I think they were a little higher. I think they were level.
I remember the hut was 6.
Yes, because a hut, i.e., the sense of the material the hut is made from, it was super high tech. Again, it was definitely an artifact. Level 3. Level 3, and they had some kind of for sure. Oh, and it was clear that the machine was somehow, not recycling their blood and things like this. Was something's going on, because clearly they're supposedly, many lifetimes old. So it somehow keeps them alive and healthy.
Good, like what?
But they certainly
like a life support system.
Yeah. So.
I want one.
So, yeah. So I will put it into the chat. So remember that the description of them, freaky as it is this.
I remember I scanned Chowry too.
Oh yeah. So I mean, he's tier 1.
I hate them bloody robots.
So I guess Chowry is gonna have to give up his secrets. Chowry. This is Transcendence Machine.
Oh, that was the when we were in the Jade Colossus. That's what I thought the Jade Colossus was for.
Oh, that's what you think it is. Yes. Okay. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess you realize that he must have some sort of nanotech that allows. You've seen it, but he's got some kind of nanotech that allows him to change his face. And then that he's got some ability to stay. I mean, I don't.
To stay what?
To stay quite quiet. He's extremely sneaky, and it's clear that he has. This isn't necessarily purely created by training. It seems likely that he has some enhancements to all these things. Again, not unlikely, since everyone around you, even Brunhilde, she's not completely natural. All of you guys have these things because of various Numenera-related reasons, your special abilities.
Okay.
I guess it depends on how to discuss it. It also depends on how Chowry imagines how his Jack is. How much of it is training, how much of it is artificial tech. But I believe that the face morph one has to be some kind of nanotech ability. Keep on. Sorry, I kept on.
Like the way it looks when Mystique changes in the X-Men movies, right?
Yeah, it has to be, because you can alter your features and coloration for hiding your identity or impersonating someone. It only affects your face. So it's very limited. Clearly, that's not applying makeup. That is a Numenera-driven ability. You can even try to impersonate a different species. So it's not as powerful as Mystique, but it does change his face.
Still pretty
Good
cool.
for getting into clubs.
Yeah. So that I'm thinking is a bit like the chameleon in Spider-Man.
Yeah. All right. Good to know.
If you guys can, you can pass the sleeping guards if you want, and just bring it to the village. I mean, it's late at night now, and they may or may not be up. If you want to bring this to the outside, and depends what you want to do. If you want to notify anyone, you're just gonna leave it here, on the outside of the housing where you're sleeping. Cause tomorrow, whatever you choose at some point, whether you wake up the guards now or whether you wait till the next morning.
Yeah, we'll wake them up. They're fucking guards. They shouldn't be sleeping. The fuck are they doing?
Okay, I go in front of the guards. I put one of the carcass, the face, right in front of them, and then I knocked to Zyger to do what he was going to do.
I was gonna just roar to wake them up. Roar!
You startle them awake, and they look. First they're like, oh, and then the one of them stares at the face, and he starts screaming in absolute panic. And he falls backwards and grabs. He's trying to grab for the simple pole arm that they basically use. It's like a staff that they use, and he's screaming, and he's pushing on the ground, and he's like calling for help. And groggily, and he must piss himself, because you eventually smell urine at some point, and then he partially gets up, he falls back on his ass because he's completely discombobulated, and eventually he tries to swipe at the head of the creature and bonks it. But then his eyes adjust to the gloom, and he realizes, after screaming and yelling and probably waking people up, that it's only a head. And he curses, he spits on the ground, and he goes, "That's not funny! Not funny!"
Oh, good night to you two. It was just a prank, not to worry about.
You're on guard. What are you doing sleeping? Come on, guys. What if this creature was real?
Oh, well, I only closed my eyes for seconds. And it's your fault. You were supposed to be on guard. I was supposed to be sleeping. No, it's your fault. I was supposed to be sleeping. You're supposed to be on guard. And so they argue with each other for a while. And you've embarrassed me in front of these mighty strangers. You've embarrassed me. And they... we're sorry. It's his fault. And like, where did you get that? Did you kill that thing?
Oh, I didn't do that alone.
Yes, I did.
You are. This is wonderful. We were so worried that these things would come in or attack us. So So, well, we will alert the elders. Yes, yes. You stay here on guard and don't fall asleep. And I'll go call the chosen ones and tell them what's happened. We will tell of the great deeds that you have done. You are without a doubt, the greatest of the great. Oh, our grandchildren will speak of you.
Oh, finally, I'm going to meet the greatest one. So fancy.
And he goes running. And the other guy is just sort of like slack-jawed and surprised. He's like, it's so terrible. I've never seen one of them. I've never been beyond the pylons.
Terrible monsters and beasts live beyond the pylons.
Oh, the wise ones have always said that we should never go beyond the pylons. There's no need. I've never had to fight anything. The Black Tusks have never come this far. Even on my patrols. I've trained with my mighty staff, my crooked staff, but I've never had to use it against anything.
I don't think any of my friends care.
Of course,
don't be rude, Zygor. You're just trying to be nice.
I'm just stating the obvious. And if he sleeps on guard, then he will certainly meet his end.
Oh, he just needs some guidance.
You need. Do they have coffee in Numenera? You need some sort of caffeinated drink.
Oh, he looks at you, doesn't know what that means. He's like, "What? What is that? I don't understand. Is this some foreign liquid?" He has no idea what coffee is. I mean, I have a feeling there's tea and coffee-like things, liquids, that would be considered to be invigorating, but coffee probably no longer exists. Tea, as we know it, doesn't exist. So, but you might not, you wouldn't even say that word. You'd probably say something else, but he wouldn't know what that is because he's so isolated.
Yeah. Says you can pull hairs from your inner thighs if you ever get sleepy.
Oh? And he's like, really? And he like sticks his hand down in his trousers and he pulls it.
It hurts, right? You'll be up. If you ever get a little sleepy, just grab 2 or 3. Just yank.
Hey. Oh.
Is Mike in his shutdown?
And
yes.
maybe just because we talked so long.
No, but he's in the. I saw he connecting the.
I'm still in Discord.
Phone.
I'm on Discord on the phone.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and so I suppose eventually what's going to happen is that the guard is going to come back with one of the chosen ones, and the following one of the chosen one is going to be one of the great elders on their creepy floating chair. So only one of them, and it'll float towards you. It's of course the chosen one is dressed in almost like weird sass, almost like semi-religious vestments, some kind of vestments of authority, right? You Anthony knows it. It's like he was told about the special embroidery that goes into it, the specialness of the office, and they come with being led by the guard with a torch, and he says, "Look what the strangers have done! They have brought back the kill. They have killed the ice monsters from the cave that we've heard about. The things that have been threatening us. We no longer have to worry about it, O great elder. Look! And the chosen one, this is a younger woman, maybe in her 20s. Her hair is tied back in a slicked, severe ponytail. She has green eyes, and she looks around and she says, please tell us what you have seen. And she looks and says, and what is that? And she points at the mummified body that you have brought.
Guy,
I brought this for you.
Yes,
Does,
Brunhilde.
does the chosen one seems more normal than the rest of the village? More outside your standard physicality. Okay.
No. Equally, or equally. I mean, they're not severely, but they're. I know we're joking. They're probably.
This is one of the caterpillar things,
No. The great elder is inhuman looking. Yeah, the great elder, in the bronze chair thing, whatever it is, that's got some kind of glass or transparent, synth covering.
Like a Jetson car, right?
Yeah, like the Jetson car. Yeah, again, like the Jetson car. Again, they're sort of encased in this mini environment, and it's not human, right? But the chosen one is clearly a villager.
Okay. I dropped the beast and left the body a little bit by my side, and I got this ice creature. Come touch. It's harmless.
And, the guard comes. The two guards come up and they poke it with their staffs, and they go, "Yes, it's definitely dead. Oh, hideous, it's so terrible. Smells. Oh, it smells so terrible."
I take the maw of the creature and it's like scary. Jick.
They jump a little bit, right? The chosen one, looks and she says, "Yes. How many more did you find? Are there any left alive?"
One really found?
We only killed 4, but Great Elder, do you recognize this person?
And I show the body. I take like a muppet and whoop.
Yeah. The Great Elder sort of comes closer. There's some kind of weird blinking lights. Some kind of heads-up display almost appears on the inside of the glass.
Mm-hmm.
Of the chair, put it that way, that they're in. And they look, and they speak. And again, when they speak, I know you said that they were speaking, sort of finishing each other's sentences like creepy triplets. But their voice isn't quite human. Right? It seems to be, there's something with their throat, an amount of reverb. It might be being processed somehow through some sort of speaker system, because it just comes out of the chair, right? And so their voice is not quite human in that sense, and it's weirdly emotionless. And they go, "Yes, this was one of the strangers who came 40 years ago."
Is this one of the group that broke the pylon?
Yes, this must have been one of them. Yes.
How many were there?
There were 7.
And we found how many bodies, Kai?
2.
2.
I think he found 4.
No, you only found.
No, bro, he would have
They
fought.
were the cockroach.
No,
Okay.
no. We're talking about humanoids. Fury, not the cockroach creatures.
Yeah, but Brahira didn't got that.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, that's Broomhilda being
Yeah,
dumb.
I got you. Yeah.
Yes, this was them. You said that they were in a cave in the mountains.
Yes.
You found them where the ice creatures were found. Interesting. They are to blame for what has happened to us. It was them who angered the icon and caused the break in our protection, caused us to have punishment. I suppose they got what they deserved. The icon was angry. Justice has been met out. They chose not to listen, and they were selfish, and now we suffer. You have done another great benefit to the village. Zygor, we have said this before. We appreciate what you have done. If you should wish to stay and become part of our family, all of you are welcome. If you wish to respect the rules and give glory to the icon, you will be welcome.
I am the icon messiah.
You have shown yourself to have great power. Any pauses? Strange long pause. And the two guards look at each other, and he says, and the chosen one says, "It is true. He has been blessed by the icon. It is clear that he has the icon's blessing. He was able to open the portal to the dwelling of the great Eldars. It's true. It is possible, yes, that the icon may be pleased that the strangers have come. Perhaps it knows that such powerful people will protect the village. Perhaps the icon has brought them to us, that they may give glory to the icon and help our people. I shall speak of this to the other Eldars. And our offer is open. Anything you guys want to say? Anything you want to do?
I thank the elder, and I ask it, does it have any technology that we might be able to use to help us benefit the village?
And it says, we have our simple people. All the villagers have the tools they need. We get them from the land. We are the great elders have been blessed with everlasting life and wisdom. But we cannot share this.
Who blessed you and gave you your device?
We have been in this for many, many lifetimes.
How old are you, elder?
We have been 5 generations. Will it be it?
500 years.
100. I mean, many moons have passed. Many seasons. There is no winter here. There is no summer. But on the outside, we have been told much time has passed. It is always cold here, but there are changes. So perhaps 140 winters.
How many, what type of climate was it outside the pylons when you was a child?
It was always cold.
Oh,
It has always been the same. It is our parents who came and found this place, found the safety of this valley, this holy valley protected by the icon.
and the icon was here when you came here to this village, to this
It has
area.
always been here. It will always be. It is our protector.
I'm done. If you two have any questions.
Yes, it was our parents' parents who found this place. And then we were given, we were the chosen ones. We three, I, Algrim, Okea, and Thorak, were chosen to lead. That is when we had found these great devices.
Where?
These great devices had been taken long ago from the place where our parents first came here. They were taken long ago from up in the mountain.
Is he talking about the hangar?
Maybe.
Is that the direction, the general direction he's pointing to?
You think that's the arms, like his multiple arms are pointing up the mountain?
Gross. So, yeah, all right.
And that makes sense if you haven't heard it before. Now he's given you their names. He is Algrim. The other two are Okeye, Okeye, and Thork. We'll put that into the notes. I'll put that in the chat. Algrim.
Is it Thok?
He pretty much, yeah. And he looks at you, and he goes, "It is unfortunate that we cannot please the icon, that the icon may make the holy fence whole again. The mighty fence that protects our village. But it is good that you are here, for you will always be able to patrol. You are powerful. You will stop all creatures from entering here and keep this place safe. That will be your job. Our villagers cannot train, are not strong, do not have the power that all of you do. You will be the watch. You shall be the guard. You shall be the right hand of the great Eldars. Keep the peace. Yes, that is what we offer you. A home forever.
So, with this title, we would need a dwelling, and my friend over here would like a pic of all your ugly women.
We have no ugly women. I do not understand. All our women are beautiful.
De zit niet even de woman.
I'm only going off the data I have.
Well, we must speak to OK and Throak. We will make the decision. But we have already spoken of the offering to you of your stay in the village, and that you may make a home here, make family, stay with us. Yes. You can pick a husband or a wife. All of you. There are many who should wish, I am sure, to mate with you, that you will have good children, strong, again, to make our village strong.
We're only allowed one wife?
As it has always been, only one wife, yes, but many children. The more children, the better.
Thank you, great elder. May the Icon's blessing be upon you.
May the Icon bless us all. Great Icon. Oh, great Icon. Powerful protector. Powerful protector. I'll do this sing-songy call back and forth like a Catholic mass.
Awesome.
Excuse me, if I could make two questions, maybe?
Yes.
I take the bot again and I hold. Do you know if this man has any family to deliver the body?
This is a stranger like you. Perhaps he has come your home. He is here now, as are you. He has no family. It does not matter. If you wish to bury him, you may do so far out to the east. There are burial grounds there. We wish him no. But do not bury him with the families, for he is cursed this place. These people did not listen. They angered the nano spirits and the Icon, and now we have suffered. We have suffered for 2 generations.
Then I put the body carefully the ground and I take the carcass. Is this edible? Should I give to them to cook?
Such things are not to be eaten. It is forbidden. The Icon says so. Only the holy meat of the black tusks is allowed.
Oh, what a waste. Oh, okay. Thank you very much, I guess.
Okay. Okay. Give me a second here. Okay. All right. If that is all, then the chosen one will say, right, we'll look at the elder and we'll sort of like bow our head and say, the great elder will bid you all a good night, and he is to, he will convene with you, he will convene with the other elders, and we will prepare a celebration if you say yes and stay with us. Yes? I am sure the village will enjoy it. And then the 2 guards go, yeah. Yes. They seem to be chomping at the bit. And they go, again, we thank you. And we welcome you. And she sort of gives a little bow. And The Eldar starts floating away, and she. Weird. And she starts singing some kind of strange religious tune to the icon as she walks away.
Igor,
Yes.
do you still going to use this ice creature?
No, I already have the parts I need.
Okay, I'm going to take it out then. But, what did you thought of the
Are you
this
gonna
elder?
cook it, Brownhilde?
Yeah, I'm not that hungry. I'm more concerned about the human. He was just like us. He had a family too, I suppose. He was trying to get home. Just like I would like to. I don't know. If you can to. The, what rude of the elder not to care for this man, huh?
Give me a sec, everyone. Continue.
Mm-hmm.
You is more than me. What do you think of that?
I believe that people enjoy their family and miss them.
When you say enjoy them, do you mean you enjoy eating them?
I do not eat flesh. Chowry. And I believe my family has been dead for at least 110 years.
But you is a robot, ain't you?
I'm mostly mechanical now, yes. So it's sad, but I forgot that feeling.
I'm sorry, Zarga. I didn't know that.
It's okay.
Is you needing a bit of oil here and there?
Well, I could do self-maintenance, but yeah. Like when you guys go and bathe, I will work on my joints and whatnot.
And how about an art? Do you have an art? Like there was an old film I saw in the village once from the olden times.
I have a heart, but it is mostly synthetic.
There's a guy looked just like you, and he was there with this furry beast, who I believe was a lion, and this man what was made out of straw.
I there was a little girl with these red shoes, right?
You've seen the film as well.
Yes, everybody knows that film.
You remind me of that guy in that film.
The lion? That makes no sense, Chowry.
That's why I asked you for a little bit of oil, in case you have problems when it rains.
No. No problems there.
Well then, you two can go in the village and drink and eat a little bit.
Is it just us three just bullshitting? Or do we have people around?
There, the two guards are there. They're like looking at you and poking at the monster, chatting with each other.
Get rid of that.
And looking and pointing at Brunhilde.
I tell them to get rid of that creature. Take it beyond the pylons.
Oh, that means we have to. Yes, of course. We will. we will go. Will you guard the village?
Yes.
Oh,
We're better. We're better than you.
Yes, and I get, every time you tell them that, you're kind of intimidating. They look down on the ground. Actually, they're looking down. They don't want to look at you in the eye.
You goddamn right they are. Take that fucking monster out of here.
I squad like in the same level of them and taking out the spears from my face. Oh, don't worry, I will take this human body with me while you guys go there. What do you think that's gonna be more easy, isn't it?
They go and they try and grab it. Clearly, they struggle for a couple of minutes, and they're like, they try dragging it. They're just dragging it across the ground.
You need a sled or a wheelbarrow or something.
Oh, yeah, a sled. That's a good idea. Yeah. Sled. Yeah, let's go get one. And they're like, why didn't you think of that? You're stupid. You're stupid. And they walk off, and they'll come back a couple minutes later. And you see them struggling for a while until they probably have this. They had a simple wooden cart, kind of like 2 wheels, probably, right? It's not a wheel. It's simple something I'm going to hook up to the back of a horse, but clearly don't have it. And it's what they were using. You guys were using to pick the rocks, to pull the rocks back from the quarry, and they struggled. 10 minutes to put the creature up there. As you watch this, if you want hilarity, is watching them bumbling about, being unable to push this creature. It's clearly quite heavy for them, and they're flinging it up and they're sweating. Okay.
You see, Zygo, this is why these people need genes.
They harness themselves up on it, right? It's clearly like it's built. It would have been for 2 horses, but it's for 2 people, so it's quite medieval. And then they start, very dark ages, and they start pulling the cart.
I take the human body and I kind of go along with them to the edge of the village, kind of slightly pulling behind the body of the creature to make it easy for them. But just slightly, so they have some easy time, but not enough so they don't get lazy.
Yeah. So remember, if they're going to bring this outside, it's about 1.5 miles, so it's about 2 kilometers.
I'm gonna separate the group.
Yeah. So just so you know, it doesn't matter. You guys can go back to whatever you. It's going to take a while for you to bring the creature all the way back, and for them to come back with it. That's all.
Okay.
So when Broomhilda walks away, I'm going to say to Chowry, like, what is our plan here?
My plan is to give them the intellect what I got.
You plan on staying here? Is this it?
Well, what's the alternative?
I don't know, but I believe that they're worshipping technology like it's supernatural.
This, of course, is not an unusual thing. Again, you yourself probably at some point have come across villages, or maybe where you were born, where the Millennia was the center of superstitious reverence. Yeah, it's common here.
Yeah.
It's common in the Steadfast. It's not that new.
Okay.
But
this isn't unique then.
This icon thing is unique. You normally don't have a huge religion. You normally have some superstition, like, superstition about the machine that pumps out the clean water, right? That it's the nano spirits, and you should be careful when, don't go get water a day where there's 3 moons in the sky, or, things like this. I mean, there's weird superstitious behavior about Numenera because the average person is ignorant in terms of these things, and this is a world where this stuff is magic. I mean, as far as you're concerned, these people are in magical chairs, right? I mean, you have a better understanding of how you can hijack, but these are all magical items. And you have no idea how any of this stuff... Remember, you don't have any idea how any of this stuff works. You are in a global junkyard of magic, what are essentially magical items. In terms of, it might as well be magic because you have no possible capacity to comprehend how they function. Right? Like, most people have no idea how a computer functions, so it might as well be magical to them. This is like everything. Nothing makes sense. You have no idea how any of this stuff functions. All you know is how to sometimes put 2 and 3 of them together to do something that you want by accident. Right? It's like, well, this thing does this and this thing does that, so maybe if we do this, I can use it to, melt a hole in the wall. Taking a shock absorber from a car, connecting it to a stick, making a pogo stick out of it. It's clearly not what it was built for. Yeah. So, but this is unique. The level of obsessive reverence is unique, and the fact that they're isolated. You guys come from the steadfast, which, as far as you're concerned, is multiple kingdoms. It's full of people, right? I mean, sure, there's there's rural villages there, but there's major cities filled with hundreds of thousands of people and giant buildings and things like this. This is freaky. Like, their kind of obsessive isolation is not what you're used to. And it's clear. I mean, their behavior towards the icon is suspicious in the sense that they don't want you to go look for it. Right? Think about it. You guys just came from the Jade Colossus, which is a super giant, mountain of a facility that came out of the ground, and it's full of explorers. And it seems almost absurd to you that these people wouldn't do more to use more Numenera. In other words, these people are living primitively. It almost seems absurd to you that anyone would live this primitively, because everyone where you come from, it's not this primitive. Right? There's more access to resources, there's more trade, and there's more ciphers. Like, people trade and use ciphers. I mean, not everyone goes to get them, but you guys may be on the more extreme, radical, exploring side of things, but these people seem generations behind you. So regardless of whether or not you understand how Numenera work, Numenera is everywhere, and these people don't have any of it.
You could
your natural, like, this icon rings to you like the Jade Colossus does. There must be things there.
Yeah.
And these people are foolish. I mean, all of you would be thinking of this in one shape, way, or in other words, this place is weird. Not because they have some kind of superstitions of Numenera completely, but you guys normally are the kind of adventurers who go like, whatever, let's go to the pyramids, right? It would, to each one of you, it would be foolish in one level or another. Yeah, just to give you a motivational sense of what's going on. I mean, and it doesn't take much for you to realize, to make the connection that something must have happened at the icon that's connected to the pylons that broke one of the pylons. Right? It's clear to you that they say that they've been broken for 40 years because a pack of strangers like you went to the icon and did something with it. I mean, you're not superstitious idiots. You understand how Numenera works. Whoever those people were, maybe did something and, set something off, or broke something, or took something away.
Yeah, that
makes
more sense.
In a sense, it's like your knowledge of how Numenera works is, they're still magic items to you. right? In other words, you don't really know the science of how they work, but that doesn't mean that you don't know how to kind of figure out how to use them. And it doesn't make, and you yourselves are not superstitious. You're numenera using people, right? You're full of them, right? You know how to use them. Like these people are, if they see your stuff, they're like, these people will react, right? When they see what you guys can do, because you are magical to them, right? It's clear the way that, so yeah, maybe we're not, kind of envisioning this, but this place is not normal. The primitive of this place is not even normal compared to your normal experience of the night. The people's behavior towards your numenera is extreme. They have nothing, right? They're living the most primitive, Amish life possible, even in comparison to the countries where you come from.
Kai, these pylons are what creates the dome, which is protecting the.
It to all of you who are smart enough and know enough about the way ciphers and artifacts work, it has to be, right. There's no other reason. I mean, this is so this whole area.
This pylon that is broken. Is there cold coming in that side of the?
Yes. Yes. So the problem is there's cold. That's why there's drifts of the shell snow in that whole 160-meter area. And that's why the creatures can come in. Because remember, it was hard for you to move through, right? You could feel there was like a force field or something when you came through in between the pylons.
Mm.
Right? That's as a matter of, so as a matter of fact, you had to move slowly through them. You couldn't just run toward them, because if you moved too fast, it would act like a force field. You have to walk slowly. It's like the shields in Dune, right? It's definitely that the pylons have created this space. Again, you don't know where they came from, why they're here, but you're in a warm oasis filled with green, growing fruit trees in the middle of a high alpine valley in a frozen mountainside. Yeah. You don't know where on the planet you are. So the pylons are definitely creating what's essentially the safe space for this village to be there. You've gotten the sense that hundreds of years ago, it sounds like 10 generations, so we're talking 200-something years ago, this place was founded by a small group of people. How they came here?
But then can we see the sky?
So remember, what happens is that, I know it's been a while since for whatever weird reason, this crystalline mineral powder snow, right, is swirling in a dome shape around this valley, which is 3 miles long and 2 miles wide, right? 5K by 3K kilometers. And it's like Stephen King's The Dome. Yeah. So whatever this weird oval, it's the perfect type of this oval sort of dome that's clearly being created by these weird pylons. For whatever reason, this weird stuff swirls around it. And so you can't actually see it's like a diffuse cloud, like during the day it's sunny, it's almost like a partially cloudy day. You don't really see the pure blue sky because this white stuff is always surrounding the village. And at night you can't see the stars either. You can see the moon, but it's like diffuse. It's like looking through, like tonight in Sao Paulo, the clouds.
Get it.
I mean, it's not so crazy thick, but it's this kind of constantly swirling, cloudy structure that kind of obstructs the way things. But there's plenty of sunlight coming through during the day. Everything grows, right? It's just not, you get to the edge and you see that it's just this barrier. Right, this not misty, but this weird sparkling white, fucking swirling thing. So it's like they live inside of a snow globe. Yeah.
The Chowry says to Zygor, you could make them worship you. You could be king here. We could live like royalty. We could make them our servants.
Yeah, but that's like being the world's smartest ant.
I think for Chowry that would be an achievement, actually.
I mean, we'd be king of squalor.
Well, if you're really that bored, should we go and have a look at this thing on the hill?
If we look at that thing, we're going to anger the elders. If we anger the elders, we're probably going to fight the elders. We're not strong enough.
Weak. You don't think we can take the elders?
No. They are at least 3 beyond us. And there's 3 of them. So we might have to stay for a little while before we start poking around so we can develop our abilities a little bit more.
Well, maybe what we could do is we could turn the villagers against the elders. There's much more of them.
Yeah, we can definitely...
We could use them as fodder.
Yeah, we can definitely go that route. I've been working my magic with manipulating them. Because it's something I can do.
I can use my magnetic charm.
I don't want to hurt these people. They could be living a much better lifestyle. And those 3 elders, I mean, they're living like kings, and I guess they're okay with their surroundings because they were born into their surroundings, right? So they know nothing else, and everybody's okay with everything. Why don't they want to explore? Why don't they think that there's a better way, a better life? It's just they're happy in their ignorance.
That's a probably good way to describe it. These people are relatively happy in their ignorance. Right? They're completely fine to live these radically simple lives, which definitely seem to help each other. They, there must be things that you don't see. There must be crimes and stuff like that. But, not everyone here seems to be working together as much as you would expect in a tiny medieval village. Exactly what this is. Another thing, guys, you have to consider, you don't know where you are in the ninth world. You don't know how far away you are from Steadfast. Certainly you could stay here, but there's another question. Do any of you want to go home? You don't have to. But, home would be trying getting back to the Jade Colossus. That's a decision you should make. You can stay here as long as you like, but then there's a question of how do you get back? You were freezing, and you weren't really able to do a perfect exploration of the hangar area where you came in, except you definitely did see that Numenera or things have been removed from there. So someone removed things from there at some point, somehow. That place, the Jade Colossus, somehow connected to this. For some reason. Because remember, the reason you're here is because you accidentally set something off in the Jade Colossus that transported you here.
Yeah.
You realize that you could stay here indefinitely. It's clear that you have impressed the powers that be and the villagers, that their simple-minded sense sees you as essentially, superhuman. And you guys are X-Men, as far as they're concerned. Put it in that perspective. As far as they're concerned, you guys are a group of X-Men. With powers far beyond any normal human, and the only other things that we can compare you to are the elders. But you don't know how powerful the elders are. They seem to want to stay here. You have the option of walking off the mountain hell, that'll lead you.
We're going to need a hell of a lot of interventions to move up 3 levels, aren't we?
Well, we don't have to at least match them, but if we're a little stronger than we are right now, we might be able to. Maybe 1 more level. Because we're very crafty and diverse, and they're only what they are.
There are 3 people, at least they used to be people, who have been basically leading this place of what you just heard about. Think about it this way. So I'm gonna make sure that I think your characters would figure this out. Right? So let's lay this out. Because from a metagame, technically this is actually a one-shot. So they've been here for 7 generations, right? They said that their parents, their grandparents founded this place. And at some point, which means that some point much later, who knows? We're talking about there must have been people here for 50 years before they became the elders, right? Maybe. Who knows how long? Maybe they were children when they became. They have no idea. But they said that their parents' founded this location. They didn't tell you where they came from or why. So they've been here for 150 years in control of this place in their weird chairs, watching generations of people live and die. That's all they do. There's only 3 of them. That's all they do. They're just here. They don't want to go anywhere. They don't want to do anything. They found the perfect spot and decided to sit down here and never go anywhere else. Again, you guys who are explorers and who have traveled from far away, you guys are cosmopolitan global travelers compared to these parochial villagers. Right? That's the way to think about it. Yeah. People who, they're people who have never left a 6 square mile area in their entire lives.
So
yeah.
I say to Chowry, I think one of our draws to help seduce these people to our side might be to show them that life is better outside this place. And if we can get them to rally...
What do you want to do? Take them to the hangar?
Yeah, we all try to go back to the Colossus and the hangar, and then we lead them to the Steadfast, and we let them live.
To do that, you recognize, and again, as you're talking, like I'm going to say that it clearly makes sense that somehow the Jade Colossus transported you to the hangar. It's clear that the hangar must have some capacity. You could see it on the floor. The hangar was some sort of mechanized artifact, i.e. an ancient facility with technology. Some of the technology was stripped away, but some of it was, but there was clearly locations and evidence of places where where tools or things could be plugged back in. You don't know. You have to take a look at it longer. You didn't get a chance because you were freezing to death out, right? Which is why you had to run off the mountain because you guys were. Except actually, Sligo was helping you stay warm. So I forgot about that, but. Chowry took a good look around, and Zygor so did too, and you realize that, well, it's like somebody took a place and stripped it, a facility and stripped it, but somehow it was still functioning. So, Chowry, you have enough about understanding Numenera and crafting Numenera between you and Zygor. You probably would have talked about this, but there might be a way to make it work, right? So, it's...
Should we do that before we take the villagers up there?
It would be clear to you that it can't. It's maybe there's a way to make it get you back to the Jade Colossus because you have no idea where you are. You could be, in the mountains to the west of the Jade Colossus, or you could be on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
Maybe you never get home, whatever you think home might be, without
That's
making
why I was asking whether we could see the sky, because if you could see the stars, you would have an idea of whether they look similar, whether the constellations look similar or not.
You would have to, if you're thinking about that now, you would have to go outside the pylon area. And, assuming you even know what the constellations normally look like, you'd have to take an intellect task to
Yeah,
get a sense of that.
but I think in because I'm imagining this world has less light than our world has, because
You mean
before we had like streetlights, people were much more aware of the heavens and the cycles of the moon and everything like that, because it very much affected how they got about.
yes.
Oh my goodness.
You're right, and it depends on your character's backstory. And I don't know if you guys looked at the Numenera book, what part of the steadfast you wanted to come from. But quite frankly, I mean, actually, where in the different areas of the country that you came from that are close to the Jade Colossus do you want to come from? Because quite frankly, you guys come from a country called Navarine. And Navarine is where the Jade Colossus is. And Jade Colossus popped up between the Amber Monolith, which is the thing that we see in the map that we're on, this page that we're on. That's the Amber Monolith, which you all know was explored by the founder of the Amber Papacy, which is the worshipping religion that designed the language that you speak, called the truth, and something that is called the obelisk of the water god. Yeah, and you guys come from it, and you have some major cities here, right? In Navarine. But in general, the majority of Navarine is, of course, wilderness. Yeah, dangerous wilderness. In fact, and yeah. So you would know your constellations. Possibly, you'd have to roll an intellect task, assuming you looked at the skyline. But so remember, you were on the Tythe River. The Tythe River is the river that the Amber Monolith basically exploded around. Right, so that was the village, the town that you were in was around there. So
Your Jade Colossus, you mean?
Yeah, the Jade Colossus. And so all the way to the west, you know that there is a mountain range called the Black Riage. Yeah, and that mountain range is maybe you're in a mountain range. You don't know. I mean, you could go check, right, to see what's what. But you're just not sure.
Sounds like a trip to the hangar is called for. Maybe tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and I presume you guys are probably still outside the village. You guys are not even home yet. You're kind of like chilling out in your village area, doing whatever. Or are you talking? Are you guys outside, or did you go to the sort of sleeping area? The home that was given to you, for you to use. It doesn't matter. I mean, I'm just curious. Where do you think you guys are while you're talking about all this?
I imagine us just kind of stood in the street waiting for Brownhill to come back from the.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly fine. So so just give me a second. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop I'm gonna make a handout with the Navarine map. And I'm gonna say you guys don't maybe you guys know a little better about maps. Because the problem is that, the world is really big, and, maps are probably still something that might be considered, wow, wowzer, you get a whole map of this place. Because, it's not the modern world. I think I shared one time a sense of the website that had the overall size of things. Where'd it go? Where's my Navarine map? Oh, yeah. Yeah. As soon as it downloads, I'm going to show it to you, just so you get a sense of where you might be, and then maybe give you a little bit of the steadfast here in a second. Just because maps are useful, and I know you probably guys don't know everything about where you live, but you have some kind of a sense of where things are. I just lost it. Save changes, and then show the players. Yeah. So you should now be able to see the map of Navarine, and the Jade Colossus blew open almost perfectly in between, along the Tythe River, probably to the right, a little bit to the right of that little forest area, in between the Amber Monolith and the Obelisk of the Water God. That in perspective. And again, you come from what would generally be considered a very a very civilized kingdom. Yeah. Because way to the north, beyond you guys, and to the west, beyond the mountains, is the beyond. And the beyond simply means, uncivilized, isolated wilderness.
So we're definitely in the beyond, then.
Probably. Good chance you are. Very good chance that that's where you are. Somewhere. The problem is you just don't know where. This is an issue. So, just finished doing. I'm going to give you one more little map section, just to give you a little better sense of probably what you would consider the civilized lands. The area north of Navarine is already considered the beyond. It is called the Cloud Crystal Skyfields, and it is just a weird wasteland. And you guys just know there's stuff out there, but you have definitely never been to it. Right? That would be far, far fucking away from you. And, you can clearly see this isn't huge, but the Navarine is probably about the size of New Jersey. A little bit bigger than New Jersey. 200, 300, yeah. So maybe Virginia size or something. I.e. for U.S. size comparison. But you could be anywhere in those mountains. You have no fucking clue. Or you could be a fucking 6,000 miles away from where you're starting. So, players are going to upload the next one just to get a better sense of what becomes south of Navarine. And none of you have explored this, but you've probably seen maps or weird Numenera screen printouts or something that gives you a sense of the fact. You guys are not idiots, right? You know that there are other kingdoms. You trade with them. They come from other locations, right? And all these things. So I'm gonna give you this. Yeah. So You should see Navarine at the top, and then the rest of the kingdoms. Thame, the Sea Kingdom, the Gon, Draelus, Iskobal, the Pytharon Empire, Anquan.
I can't see this guy.
Yeah.
No.
What are you talking about?
Did I share?
I only saw the Navarine map.
Yeah.
So I just added another one.
That's it.
So maybe I need to refresh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's two mysterious nodes now. But really,
Yeah.
I'll call this the Steadfast. And I'll call this one Navarine. Again, do you guys have perfectly detailed? I mean, this is, I don't think you would know this level of, all the necessary details. We guys got a sense of the landscape. Just so you get a better. And again, this is like a very small portion of the entirety of what is Numenera, right? What is the ninth world? And there's other maps that you can take a look at. But as far as you were concerned, Navarine is a sophisticated empire. The rest of these places are semi, baric or idiotic. But down to the south, for certain, in Iskoba, there's a city called Chi, right? So that is actually a kingdom that's well regarded because it is probably the biggest city in all of, about it, because it is really a city. It is full of artifacts. It is full of buildings that scrape the sky, as they say. And it is the home of the Amber Papacy. It is the religious center of the Steadfast. But anyway, while you guys are talking outside, you, Chowry, and Zygor will notice, sneaking through the dark, a figure approaching you. Because, the only torches that are lit right now are really the torches by the entry to the village, right? Where the simple wooden archway sort of represents the welcome to our little tiny village.
Who goes there?
And coming out of the shadows, you will see that it is the chosen one, the girl who had accompanied the elder to speak with him.
Here's your chance, Chowry.
Hello, love. How's it going?
I'm sorry, what did you say, Chowry?
Hello, love. How's it going?
She looks at you quizzically. Shh. And she motions like she's kind of hiding. I would say in the shadows of one of the buildings, maybe like 10 meters, 5 meters away. She's like, shh. We need to talk. He's like, and she's like hoarse whispering, so it's like a really terrible whisper. She's like, these strangers.
All right, love. Let's have a chat then. We're just in the street, aren't we? Is there
Yes.
Is there like somewhere we can go that's a bit more private?
Maybe the home that's been given to you to stay in?
Yeah, we do have a a house that we took over.
A hut, like a cottage that's been basically evacuated.
Do you want to come back to our place, love? I'm sure Zygo can whip up something for you. He's my personal assistant, you know.
She looks at you confused. Oh, your cottage. Yes, I will go ahead to your cottage. I will meet you there. And she goes sort of like sneaking off into the shadows.
We better get big Broomhilda.
What's she playing at? How long does it take to drag a body 2.5 miles?
I don't know. You could be coming back at this point. You're sorry. I didn't know what to do.
Actually, I was having a talk with the guy before I come back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because remember, I have to tell you about that. Yeah, because remember, I mean, it's gonna have to walk like 2 miles at least to round trip. So it's gonna take to how fast you walk. Walking a mile takes like 20 minutes. So she's gone for an hour. Let's just be honest.
Mm-hmm.
A little more than half. I mean, she's probably because the 2 guards won't walk very fast, even with her helping. With her helping and pushing the cart, they can probably move at a normal speed instead of huffing and puffing their way for 1.5 miles. Okay. Yes. Okay.
You're breaking up for me, Kai. Is it just me?
I don't think he's saying.
I don't even know he's talking.
Oh.
I was just singing to myself.
Oh.
I have to send some private messages to Broomhilda here. Just give me a second. It's hold up. It's like my roll 20 is getting a little bit crashing, so I'm going to turn the video off real quick for a moment. I think I'm having. Okay. Hello, come on, roll 20. So I'm going to get to you. It depends what you're going to ask. But I'm going to say that I'm just going to fast forward because I'm. You guys are going to wait for Brunhilde, right? So I guess I'm going to have to wait to ask her. Could you send me a message with what you want to say? Actually, put it on Discord because I think let's just take it to him. So shoot me a message on Discord. What do you want to know?
Well, just
Or
more
do you want to make it public?
No, I can make it public. It's just more talk. Okay. I will be pushing them from behind. So I wanted to talk to you something, and then I would take my hand away and like with the weight because I lost pressure and I started helping too much. Do you think do you guys agree with what we should do with the body? I mean, the other was quite cold, wasn't he?
Look at each other. Well, the great elders always know what to do. They are the wisest among us. Yeah, they know everything. Oh, yeah. My dad always told me that I should always listen to them. And my father's father and my father's father's father. It is the way things are. The elders know all. They are. Why would you not listen to them? Look at them. They must be wise. They're beyond us, like you. I mean, you're not human.
Oh, but of course I'm human. That is not absurd. But my problem is that there's not much empathy in this. And I walk in front of the thing. It starts pushing the thing. And another one that was holding the rope just fall in front of me. And I started looking at this guy and walking. Because, there's empathy with this kind of people. They are adventurers like me, as you said. But as you, I'm a human too. I just had a different life before this. I mean, we should at least think of some kind of funeral. They weren't just bad people. They were just adventurers like me. I mean, I don't know that after all. And you guys would have some opinion too. After all, you guys are children for someone. You have mothers, have fathers, something like this. Wouldn't it be sad if like your son or the daughter come to the place like this and just die and they're buried someone to remember, just later in the cold, alone, with no one else to help, and all that would have this more thoughts flying by when the freezing cold is freezing then, slowly killing. I know the other side that the cold is just some ice creatures that gonna give you one even worse. And then Brigitte just kind of starts like shading, getting wet in the eye, and waiting for the answer for them.
They look at you. They're like, "Oh, are you okay? Sorry. Oh, you shouldn't have said you aren't human. We didn't mean to hurt your feelings. You're just so bigger than any woman we've ever seen." And he's like, "Yeah, but maybe he's right. Because, I mean, if I died, I want someone to bury me and give me the rights of the great icon, that the icon may look over me in my afterlife, in the world beyond." "Oh, yeah, I guess so. But these are strangers. He's a stranger. This one, he was not part of us. Why should we give them the blessing of the icon?" "I don't know." Oh, and they start kind of arguing with each other for a minute. They're like, "Oh, yeah, well, maybe the blessing of the icon should be for everyone. But he's not a villager. He doesn't deserve it." "Well, yeah, but who are you to judge?" I'm like, "Oh, I guess that's what you mean, right?"
You guys should have some opinion, some will to help others. No, just like I'm doing. I pretend to bury this man. After all,
Well, we can't do anything unless the elders say it's good for us to do. We should not ever disobey the elders. They always know best.
oh, okay. But I needed whatever this murdered family. But I also was cured, my lord, for them. I'm sorry, it's just
Well-
kind of this sentimental. I just remember my mother, my father. I missed them. No, I was close to home.
Well, maybe we can pray to the icon over the body, but just not bury it. The elders said that we shouldn't bury it with the rest of the villagers, but they didn't say anything about not saying prayer of the icon, right? And they start arguing with each other. They pray, "Well, yeah, I guess so.
No, this could be better.
We could teach you the prayer."
I'd be much delighted to learn the prayer.
Okay. As your man is like, "Okay, it goes like this," and it's highly repetitive. All praise the mighty icon. Da, 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 da,
Okay.
da. But they're like, they start. full praise the icon. Great and mighty icon until you decide to start helping him push again, and you'll get that. So during this time you'll get that, and so if that's what you want, they'll throw before they throw the body out, because what they're gonna do is they're gonna just push it out on the other side of the barrier, but they will say this short prayer to the icon. And they're like, I don't think you should tell the elders, just in case. So we won't say anything if you don't say anything, okay?
Oh, pinky promise, right? And I give it a little finger.
Pinky promise?
And then I grab.
Yeah.
This is secret between Mama Hilda and you two.
So they sort of like look at each other and look at you and go, it'll be our little secret. And they guffaw quite a bit and go, okay, good. Well, let's get back. I'm sleepy. I want to go back. But we're on guard still, you idiot. Yeah, but it was your turn to guard, not mine. No, it's your turn to guard. And they continue this kind of childish arguing on the way back the whole time, right? Unless there was anything else that Brownhill did to do.
Nope, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, so you've created a bit of subversion. And so eventually Brunhilde gets back with the two guards, and they're like, I'm scared of it. I guess we'll have to stay down here. Well, thank you. And we'll see you tomorrow, and maybe we'll have another celebration tomorrow for the great and mighty thing you've done. Oh. Anyway, and he's like rubbing his eyes. He's like, whew, boy. Well, we better stay guarding. And he's like, he goes down and you see him reach his hands into his trousers and he screwed up. Oh! Okay, I'm ready to guard now.
Okay, goodbye. Don't forget to kiss your mothers.
Goodbye, big woman.
I turn to Charles and go, okay. I'm ready. We can go to the settlement now. Did I lose anything?
Yeah, they've been loitering around in a little group talking to each other near the gate this whole time. And I suppose you'll tell them what happened. And so when you get to your house, when you get back to your dwelling, the woman will be there. She will be sort of like hiding, not very cleverly, to be honest with you, like semi outside your door. And she's like, where have you been? I have to get back to the elders. They'll know that I'm gone. Go inside. We can't talk out here.
Okay. I go inside.
So the woman is extremely nervous. She's like pulling up on her ponytail hair and she's doing nails. It's like, I really shouldn't be here, and I'm worried that I told the eldars that I would be getting food for the rest of the chosen ones, and I have to hurry. I'm sure, otherwise my mother will be wondering where I've gone. I told her I was using the outhouse. But, look, and she's querying again. Oh, I don't know if I should tell you this, but
I take her by the shoulders and I sit her by my side. Okay, it's okay. You can tell me everything. You're safe here with me.
She doesn't talk like me, but she talks very slowly. So I'm gonna try and do it like, I don't know. Okay, I guess I should tell you. I've heard many of the stories of the many parents and parents of others, about the strangers who came here during the time of my parents. And it's clear that I think that who these strangers were, they must have done something to the icon and made the icon angry, like the elders say. But you're powerful, and I saw what Zygor can do. Maybe you can undo what the other strangers did. I know the elders say you should never go to the icon, and I trust that they are right. We should never, but you are not like us. Well, maybe the elders have not thought about this, but maybe you can fix what the strangers broke, and then our village would be safer. You have already done so much. You are so powerful. I'm sure you can fix the ward and keep us safe, that we may never worry about black tusk attacks or the ice creatures ever again. And we can stay safe here. And our children's children can stay safe here.
I look worried and I look to Zygor.
Yeah, I think we should definitely investigate this icon and see if we could help fix it.
Don't tell anyone I said this, or I'll lose being the chosen one. I
As a
elders will
chosen
be
one,
angry with me.
what if you could have a better life than this?
She's like, what could be better? We have a beautiful village and fruit trees and food, and it's warm and it's always green, and the birds sing, and my mother cooks stew, and the elders are here. What more could one want? I don't understand.
I start explaining the amenities and the comforts of where we come from.
And it takes you a while, but she seems, at the beginning, she's like incredulous. How many people? What can you do? That is not possible. But what about what? What do your elders say? You have no elders? And she's childlike in her naivete actually about things, and um, she listens to you, and oh, I did not know. Oh, but it does not sound safe. You do not have wards. What about black tusks?
There are no black tusks. It's as safe as the people are around you.
Oh, I I don't know. That sounds so scary. It sounds frightening. But really? And so she's clearly curious, piqued by what you're saying, but confused for just such a lack of capacity of experience.
I say to her, like, wait till tomorrow. I'm going to show you what it's like living over there, what I'm going to do.
Hey, if you I have heard the great elders, they will not allow anyone to go by the icon. They are afraid. Maybe that is why we have been here so long. We are afraid of leaving. because we are safe here. It is, but maybe what you have said. Oh, I don't know this feeling. My heart. Uh, I must go back, but I advise you, if you speak to one, just speak to one. It is easier to speak to but one of the great elders. They are together. They are but one mind, but alone they are different. I must go. I will think of what you have said, but tell no one. And she sort of embarrassingly, sort of kind of bows a little bit and says, "You're coming. It is." Um, It is not what I expected. And she kind of runs out the door.
Are you sure about what said, Igor? Can we show these people a better life and still get home?
We have to try, right?
And
Unless
who's
everybody's comfortable staying here. I'm not.
but who's to say they're gonna be happy and steadfast? They're happy here, Zygel. They
As I
might not
say,
be happy if they come with us.
we will present everyone a choice.
Well, actually, there's a shun that is not actually a choice. As we know, if we go back home, people will suffer for this act. Maybe convincing them to go back with us is a better option for both of us.
Um, yeah, we got to give them the choice, right? If some people want to go back, then we take only some people. If the entire village wants to go back. But the thing about it is, if the elders start piping in like, no, you don't have to, you can't leave, type of deal, then we know they have to go, right? Because
Yeah,
their lives are fine. You know, they'll live forever. They have slaves, a constant supply of slaves to cater to them, who will just do whatever they say because of the inbreeding and the dogma of the icon.
but this truly the better option. Here stands
What?
up, go to the door. I'm here because I left home, search for a husband, and I got here, and I see all these families, these mothers, their children, and I cannot skip to think that this is like raising your child. Just to repeat what you did, and then die after this in a meaningless way, without the possibility of the choice of the child. Although it is safe, and you can be sure that the child will grow, a family, etc. I still feel they got to me on these thoughts. And this scares me. I think as much scares me as a young lady.
Well, it sounds like in the morning we should go up to that there hangar and see if we can put any of those bits together. What do you think?
Yeah, it's better to do something than nothing.
I would also like to make one of their trees grow to show them possibilities of the things that go on outside of the their little comfort zone. So if I make that big fruit tree grow 10 times its size, that means there's going to be fruit 10 times its size. Well, essentially, one fruit could feed Half the village.
If you think this was, I have nothing against it.
I could always change my face into the face of an elder and order them to go.
You couldn't change your body to the Eldar. That's the problem.
No, it'd be just the face, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'd
Yeah.
have to construct you a chair.
But I could be like poking out of a window or a door or something.
Speak in the elder voice, Mike.
Are you taking the piss, Zygo?
So there's another question there, right? It's so Michael and Zygo, you basically know that there's definitely equipment missing for that hangar, but you don't know what it could be. On the other hand, if you could get your hands on a pile of Numenera, of ciphers and artifacts, maybe you guys could come up with something to make the thing work if you just looked at it enough.
We
Again,
have to see if there's a pile of Numenera in the icon, don't we?
All right. So how about this? Tomorrow, you guys.
We could go to the icon tonight while they're asleep.
Or I could distract the village with my tree growing ceremony, and then you guys could sneak to the icon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not very good at sneaking, but I can try. Maybe me, Zygor, should distract the folk with our ability, and Chari, you do the searching thing.
Oh, great.
That sounds
fair enough. But then if my tomorrow, then my special ability will have to be searching Numenera, which means I can't change it to crafting Numenera until the day after.
Good point. You just cleared. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So we'd have to start crafting tonight then.
Well,
we can craft tonight.
or I could go and salvage tonight. Because we need the Numenera to craft, don't we? I could go salvage tonight, and then we could craft it.
We have those heart grenades that you were going to help me build. Those grand grenades, you know?
No, because today I'm on salvaging. I can change it to crafting in the morning.
In the morning, yeah, okay.
You're so like a 28-hour basis.
Okay, yeah. So if you want to go salvage tonight, then you go salvage tonight. You sneak off.
Cheerio, guys! I'm off to the icon. Sleep well.
We've already seen the quality of the village guards.
Yeah, I guess we can. I'll go accompany Charlie.
Should I go too, or just wait here?
Why don't you come?
Wait. Okay, let's go.
Just don't touch anything.
Could you guys give me a speed the test to try and make sure that you sneak past the guards?
Okay.
Do you have any of you? Have? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's difficult. Yeah. TN. Yeah. Easily.
Sorry.
No problem.
The result is
So
30.
you have an asset. So that means when you're setting the roll up, you have put asset. Climbing to any kinds of moves. Yeah. Speed, movement, sneak task. Yeah.
What's the difficulty?
Difficulty is 2.
Okay. Bang.
No problem. Matter of fact, because you were so good, you could give someone else an asset. But I don't think anyone needs it.
Yeah.
Because you guys rolled. Yeah, so you know what? The guards are half asleep again. And you can just walk off the side of the village and no one notices you tonight. They're not really good at this.
They've run out of inner thigh hair.
Yeah. You can probably hear one of them sort of snoring, right, as you kind of move out the village carefully between the houses, and you can hear him snoring in the dead quiet of the night. So,
Jesus Christ. Takes one fucking black dust to come in and just murder this entire village.
yeah, they suck at this. At least these two do. They're definitely really bad. And you while you're going out there, you do realize there must be. You've heard this, but like you know that some of them go on patrol, so you probably see some of them with off in a distance with a torch on patrol. Out around the orchards, but they just don't see you. You guys are quietly, you move out, you move to the orchids, and you start heading north, towards orchards. I said orchids, but the orchards. And you just, they're not there. So there's probably about you see at least another 2 guards. They're a little bit more active than the idiots at the front gates.
There might be orchids in the orchards, are there?
Yes, there may be. There may be. But these guys are idiots. I mean, at least those guys are. And so, yeah, as you move through the orchards, you eventually, the orchards sort of climb gently up. There's, it's hilly, right? You're in a valley, you're in a mountain valley, and so, the village is built in the dip, the lowest part. Start slowly moving up towards higher ground, and eventually you're going to find a path that winds back and forth past the orchards amongst the hilly, rocky area. And you'll notice it at night. It's bright enough that you can sort of see, not very well, but you can make your way around. I mean, I wouldn't call it full moon, but there's just enough light. I presume you don't have torches. You're making your way through the night. That along the sides of the paths, there are remnants of offerings of food. Small, there's rotting vegetables and fruit in different locations. Next to little sort of sticks in the ground, and there's little wooden carvings that seem to represent the icon. And then this pathway starts climbing a little higher up towards the upper edges of the valley. And again, this is a montane valley. Imagine Norway or an alpine valley in Switzerland. So it starts getting steep, right? And then the path becomes less grassy and it becomes more jagged, stone, kind of like the area where you were quarrying for stone. And eventually it gets to a point it's not so grassy anymore, and it looks like it's gonna get kind of pure face, and quite steep, with a lot of rock fragments, talus. So there is a pile of flat stones that are put across the path, like wide flat stones, like the size of dinner plates, and inscribed on each of them in truth, i.e. the language you all speak, is a warning to come no closer. And this area is covered in offerings that are not as rotten as the others. You would assume you pick them up and they might be maybe a week old or so. And so you start. Yeah, go ahead.
No. I was just saying only a week. It's not very long.
Yeah, the other ones look like they were rotting. They're really covered in fungus or they're desiccated. So these look recent. So it's clear people come up this way, but only to here. right? And if you looked at the footpath, right, there's clearly, it's at night. Yeah. If you look during the day, you suspect that you would notice the traffic. But there's clearly lots of evidence of people passing through here. But as soon as you get past those stone markers, sort of like the path continues along the top of a low ridge, right, for quite a distance. And then it's going to smooth out again as it covers another zigzagging trail up into the rocky edges of this valley. And eventually you will see yourself approaching the icon itself. Again, here the icon kind of shines in the diffuse moonlight that you can see coming, right? As it looks like that, right? When you eventually get to it. And
Like what?
and so what you and so what you're going to need to do is that you're going to have to actually get past the pylons, right? Because you can sort of see the silhouette of this right beyond the flurries of the shell snow. And it just seems to be sort of like on the boundary or near the. So if it's at some point, whatever, because here it seems you can just see more of the sky, and there's flurries of shell snow, maybe even normal snow blown about by the wind here, because some of it is actually snow. Like that's you actually taste it in your tongue. And the air is way colder here than in the rest of the valley. It seems to be somehow halfway in and halfway out of the barrier system, the ward. And again, it's like it says, it's a roughly humanoid statue. It seems metallic, of the same shiny bronze-like metal, coppery color as the rest. The thin torso, broad shoulders, the weird arms, right? Lower pairs are smaller than the uppermost ones. As a matter of fact, it's kind of freaky because part of the look of the thing, the arms, almost reminds you of what the elders look like with their little lobster arms that grow out of their torso. And so there's a glowing blue crystal where its face should be, and these long horizontal horns. Its lower half, like it's shown, it just merges into the stone peak here at the kind of the rim of the valley. You really don't know if there's anything underneath it. I mean, is this a statue? Is this a thing? You're staring at this, it's almost like this jade colossus. You can't really quite tell if this grows out of the ground or if this was something that was once alive. A vertical line of blue crystal extends from its chest toward its midsection and downward to a cave-like opening beneath it, all of which has the same glow, pulsing in a downward pattern, like a river of light trickling from the statue's face. And this must be, as you start following the path going towards the base, this must be at least, as tall as a 4-story building. It's 12 to 15 meters tall. And again, the structure of this reminds you of the pylons. Blue crystal, weird bronze metal. It has these weird levitating rings that you see around it that are floating near its hands, rotating around. Their rings are rotating around their axis and revolving around this thing. Is this a statue or is this an entity? It's hard to tell. Certainly it makes no noise or movements besides the weird. It's the same kind of sound that the pylon make. And you can feel goosebumps going up your body. There's like an electrical discharge, like if you were in a place that was about to be hit by lightning, in the sense of that your hair starts getting on end, right? Almost like it's you can definitely feel it, Brownhilda. And the path leads to the glowing cave, glowing blue and pulsing at the base of the icon. There are no doors, no hatches. There's nothing on the surface of the icon. And the crystals are just seamless with the metal. And there was only this, you walk towards it, this 5-meter high, diamond-shaped hole in the belly of this thing. And the blue crystal extends, glowing and pulsing, and it's like almost like lines of light inside of the cave that moves along the ceiling. And so there's a bright bluish glow, as bright as daylight.
Does it kind of cover the entrance to the cave?
Yeah. I mean, it's not a cave. I mean, cave's the wrong way to describe it. It's a whole. Like if you see, the picture, it's exactly what it looks like, and it's kind of that cleft with the rock, and it's like the very. You follow the line down the torso. There's just like an opening into this thing. It's a cave in the sense that there seems to be partially the metal of the creature, or this thing, whatever this is, seems to be melded into the rock. But the opening is not natural. The opening is partially bronze metal and partially rock, right? Again, it seems like it's melded together, but the blue crystal creates kind of, lines of blue light that enter into the cave, enter along the ceiling. And it's clear that there's a smooth set of stairs leading downwards. There's shell snow and dirt and debris that have accumulated in the corners of the stairs.
So the blue light isn't a kind of protective field.
No.
It's just light.
Yeah, it's like there's lines of this blue glowing crystal embedded into the very metal and into as if they were running lights. Yeah, inside of the cave, they're illuminating everything. It's not clear at all. So right into it. You get to the edge and it's clear. You're walking through shell snow, and you're the only footprints here, right? And it's clear because this thing's glowing, so you can definitely see now, right? It's not the kind of darkness. You always have to adjust until because this whole thing's glowing blue, right? Like it's covered in LED strips of light. Yeah. So you look at the stairs, and the only footsteps you see are the ones that you have made. And the blue light, sort of maybe dims, but the stairs lead down into the dim blue darkness of this. And, right? And you're surrounded by the quiet of the night, the wind whistling through the rocks at the edge of this strange valley, the humming sound of the pylons and this thing, and goosebumps as your hair stands on end looking down at this. You look back behind you at the distance, and in the darkness you might see a flash of a torch down in the deep darkness of the valley. And this whole place just looks so alien. And beyond you to the west, because this it's almost like it's the edge of the pylon line, right? You can kind of, there's less shell snow here. You can see the high peaks of the mountains to your right towards the west. And the shadow, the darkness, right?
Can we see the stars?
You can see them, and they are strange to you. You might give me an intellect test.
What's the difficulty?
Say it's a difficulty 3.
Ooh.
Intellect task. Yeah, okay. The star. I mean, you recognize some of the constellations. Their positions are very strange, and not all of them. So, you may be. It's possible you are far to the north, well beyond, the Navarine, right? Because the southern end looks like there's constellations, but the north here, there's things you're not familiar with. The positions are all different, so you are definitely very far away from home. And so I'm going to say that. So what are you guys going to do?
We're gonna enter.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably gonna be some long thing. You guys have time?
Well, yeah, I was going to say this. I might just narrate your entrance, and then we'll sort of.
Okay.
Like Michael.
Can I scan the icon as we're entering?
Yeah, you can. I suppose. I mean, you can scan a piece of the icon and what you get about the material. Where is this stuff here?
I think I'm going to draw my broadsword just in case.
The icon is a level 8 material, right? It's complex, ancient artifact technology. It's probably extremely resilient. I mean, could you try and break it down?
Is it a statue or is it a machine?
It seems more like a machine. Like a thing.
Is it a sentient machine?
Well, the sense of like the pylons that it's got systems active in it. There's subsystems active. If you remember what happened when Michael touched the pylon. Do you remember what happened when Michael touched the pylon?
No, I don't remember.
And Michael, do you remember?
No.
You got electrocuted. That you slipped. You slipped and you hit the pylon, and I believe it electrocuted you when you that's how you fell through the fencing, so to speak, the warding. That's how you got inside, beyond the edge, inside the valley proper. Yeah.
Was that me?
I believe that was you. I think you got some experience points for that.
Oh, yeah, it was definitely me then.
Yeah. So, the lights are kind of dark. The blue lights get less intense. You start climbing down these stairs, and now you are the only footprints here in the shell snow and snow that crunches beneath your feet. But in a couple of seconds, suddenly the ceiling light begins to strobe in an irregular pattern. I need everyone to roll me an intellect defense of level 8.
Oh, dear.
I didn't pass. That's it.
Yeah. I'm not a great deal of point rolling.
There, guess what? 24.
Yeah, I mean, difficulty 8 is a very.
Oh no, I didn't roll a 1. Charlie did.
Well, the blue strobing light, is so weird, and and what happens is that all of you just sort of lose track of time. You get stunned and stare at the blue light hypnotically, like it's pulsing and pulsing and pulsing like a strobe light. And you feel your head. Anyone who didn't pass, which I believe is most of you, so you're essentially just incapacitated for a couple of seconds, and you don't know how much time has passed. Right? You probably walked even a while without even recognizing it. And you just walked on under the blue allure of this light until you walk down, and you're into this large, what must be a large open area, covered with a deep, lumpy layer of shell snow, and stench here, like that of animal and animal waste. And then the blue lights give off, and that you see that inside here, as your eyes adjust, there are 7 or more bronze metal domes. They kind of look like the buildings that were the weird metal buildings that were in the village in Bardock. And as you sort of come out of your daze, as you were sort of walking down there, suddenly something moves out of the shadows. And then what happens is that you see these. Give me a second. These strange, coppery, metallic spheres, the size of large basketball, I would say, right? So, maybe a foot, 30 meters, bigger than that, maybe a foot and a half across, and they start sort of blinking. And you see them just come out of the shadows from the different buildings, and they start forming a circle in front of you, and they start swirling in front of you, and then they're kind of a strange buzzing in the air, and then they have a red crystal in them with a red beam, and it starts blinking, and they all blink at you as they form this spherical formation. And they start rotating, and your eyes are sort of bathed in red light. And above you, some things are flying in the shadows and the darkness. And then, while you're staring at this, the blue light starts pulsing again. And I will leave it there.
So we're still stunned?
You're not stunned yet. No, you're not stunned. I'm just saying that you kind of, as you became unstunned, as you were sort of walking in the daze, you came down the stairs. You saw, you saw the opening to this massive area, the buildings, and the things just came up creating this weird formation. They start blinking red lights at you. It's like they're shooting like red laser beams at you, right? Like, not like burning you, but just like, you know, like a
scanning,
shot, like
a bit like that nightclub in Bardock.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And maybe they're scanning you. You don't know what they're doing.
I'll try to shut those.
There's screeches of some kind of animals up high in the darkness where you can't see them, right? And shadows of bats or something flying around, because there's definitely animal poop in here.
Oh, okay.
But that's what I meant. What I meant is that there's a smell of animals, there's living things in here, but these aren't it. These things just came out, and they're like giant phantasms, right? And they formed a formation, a flying formation, probably about head high, and they're circling and shooting these red, flashing, red laser lights at you. Except for Chowry. So Chowry, I don't have to remember what happens there. I think Chowry's still dazed, can't do anything. That's your GM intrusion besides something else. Yeah.
Kyle, did you figure out the experience?
You know what? I forgot to even read about it. So I did not. So let me make a note. I have to figure out if I owe you more experience. I totally forgot about it. Michael and I have had it's been an interesting school week, so need to figure out if you are owed any extra experience. Okay. All right. Yeah. Deal.
Yeah. Cool.
Great.
All right, guys. Yeah. I think Michael and I definitely need to get ready for school tomorrow. Mike, are you going in tomorrow?
No, I'm not. No.
Oh, okay. So at least we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.